Hi, I'm Weston. I love talking about the Astros, and today I'm here to talk about some exciting news because the Astros just extended Lance McCullers Jr. to a 5-year, $85 million contract. Now, before I get into some statistics and Lance McCullers as a player, I want to talk about the contract itself, right? So that is 5 years, an average of 17 a year. Couple that with the last year of arbitration that we're still going to be getting him for this season, and you have him tied to the Houston Astros organization through 2026 before we have to worry about paying him another contract extension. That's good. This is a, decent contract, 17 a year, to a very good young pitcher with the prime of his career and the prime of his life still ahead of him to come, with perhaps the best pitching coach in the entirety of Major League Baseball, right? So when you get those things coupled in, you get excited about Lance McCullers. Now, if you want to look at numbers, right, if you look at just ERA, if that's the only thing you look at, which isn't a very good thing to only look at, it's a good thing. ERA is good, but that's not all you should look at. But if you just look at that, a 3.70 ERA, that's fine. That's above average, That's pretty good for a pitcher. Now, when you look at FIP, which is fielding independent pitching, based upon only things a pitcher can control, so home runs, walks, and strikeouts, it drops it down to 3.29. That's good. And if you take out the Mickey Mouse 2020 season, it's 3.24. That's also very, very good. Now that ERA, if you hear, that's probably all-star caliber pretty much every single season. And then we can look at some Fangraph numbers, because that also helps. And if you look at those numbers, it only gets better for Mr. Lance. A K percentage, which is in the 56th percentile, so above league average. A whiff percentage in the 70th percentile, which is quite a bit above league average. A fastball velocity in the 60th, which is again quite above league average. And a curveball spin rate, which is in the 81st percentile, which is very, very exciting. And then you can also look at the fact that all four of the pitches he throws, which is fastball, curveball, changeup, and cutter, they're all above league average in velocity. That's also very encouraging for Lance McCullers Jr. And again, I already mentioned it, the best years of Lance McCullers are hopefully still in the front of us, right? He's only 27 going into this season, so this ties him for quite a while. Now, the big thing with Lance McCullers that we always kind of get stuck up on, at least I do, is his home and away splits, because that's where it gets a little bit dicey, right? At home, you have a Cy Young pitcher in Lance McCullers, and that's not an exaggeration, right? Home, his numbers for his career at Minute Maid are better than some Cy Young candidates for normal seasons, 2020 aside. And his away numbers are a player that maybe on a bad team gets to stay there the whole year, but with Lance, it usually averages out to a pretty good pitcher. For his career at home, 265 and one-third innings pitched, and a 2.51 ERA. That's good. That's a very good pitcher. Just that Lance McCullers, fantastic, no complaints. Now, when you get the away Lance McCullers, that's when a slight issue starts to arise. 243 and one-third innings, a 4.99 ERA. That's not great. But again, I hold out hope that one of these years, hopefully this one, we're going to start to get the home Lance McCullers as the primary Lance McCullers. And again, right, I've tried to be very objective at this point, right? And I try to be objective in everything. And I try not to let my emotions get too in the way of sports contracts and things like that. But I can't here, man. I love Lance McCullers. He's my favorite pitcher on the Astros right now. And this is just exciting news to know that we got him for at least 6 more years. And especially with the no trade clause, this is just good news to be an Astros fan. So yeah, that's all I have to say about this. I'm ecstatic. You should be happy. And hopefully within the next few weeks, maybe we can get a contract going with Carlos Correa. That'd be great news. So that's all I have to say. Thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day. And as always, go Astros.